goes for
This way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Good evening to all of you listening at home, on your or on your way to work. I am grateful for your virtual presence as we discuss polycystic ovarian syndrome, more commonly referred to as PCOS. I am your host, Sheraine Mills, contestant number 3 in this year's Miss Dominica Queen pageant, where I am representing the wonderful communities of Jimmet and St. Joseph, home of Granax. This evening, I have with me 3 experienced panelists who are going to help dissect polycystic ovarian syndrome, a condition which so many women, like myself, across ages and nations, suffer from silently. I believe that this is an issue which is prevalent even here in our small island, Dominica. However, it is often overlooked and misunderstood. My aim is to dismantle the stigma against PCOS, bringing awareness and understanding throughout the nation. Tonight's roundtable discussion is sponsored by Republic Bank. We're the one for you. Stay tuned as we will be dropping a few tidbits from our sponsor. As we take a break to highlight our sponsor, I suggest you get comfortable and grab your snacks. This has been a long-awaited discussion, and we look forward to your interactions via the comments. Welcome back to our lovely listeners, and those of you just tuning in. I am your host, Sheraine Mills. To the left of me, I have the ever-caring Dr. Shane McIntyre, specialist physician in obstetrics and gynecology. Good evening to you, Dr. Mack.
Good evening.
And how are you this
I'm
evening?
doing good, thank you.
So, Dr. Mack, tell us, you have been in this field for quite some time now, and you have seen it all. What is polycystic ovarian syndrome?
Okay, so to put it in a nutshell, it's a hormonal imbalance that any woman of childbearing age goes under. Okay, so when you think of hormonal, think of, let's say, it's a driving forces that moves and does things in the woman's body, namely the menstrual cycle. So think of if there's a hormonal imbalance, that menstrual cycle is not probably out of balance, meaning that it's a kind of prolonged, shortened, comes when it wants, it's just very irregular. So the PCOS, PCOS, as you know, we like to call it right now, to be somewhere like the heat and everything right now, is pretty much an imbalance to the hormones. Yes. So a few things can go on, but you know, as time goes on with this panel, we'll decipher it and break it down. Okay.
I have a few questions.
Sure.
In the days of social media, I know that many women run to these platforms researching away and consuming information which are sometimes medically incorrect. What is the most common misconception surrounding PCOS? Can PCOS be cured or reversed?
Okay, so let's start at the ending first.
Okay.
PCOS can't be cured. Okay, it's you. It's what's going to be. Right? What you do is management, and then we will learn how to manage it as we go on. Now, I like that you said the social media era and hitting the different platforms. I love that because whenever my clients come to me I sit back. I want to know what Google said today. I want to know what TikTok said today. And TikTok seems to be the leading partner right now.
Yeah.
And then I kind of partial to ChatGPT. Yes. Okay, gives you a little better sense of what's going on. So, to debunk it, in the sense of being cured, no. It can be managed. But above all is knowing what type of PCOS that you may have. There's a misconception that once I have PCOS, I just have PCOS. But you have to take it into more detail as to what types. There are different types of PCOS. And going to your physician helps you break it down. Someone with PCOS in the other way says like there's multiple cysts on your ovaries. These multiple cysts on your ovaries kind of alters the way that your ovaries function. Your ovaries function is to release the egg. So if you're not releasing eggs properly, infertility is one of the issues that may arise. Okay? Irregular menstrual cycles, prolonged bleeding, bloating, as well as see, a little more beard. We will see, but the different types will tell you which one. So management is based on what type that you may have. The most talked about one is infertility. Yes, it can create the incidence, increase incidence of infertility. Okay, but it's not that you're unable to conceive. You are able to conceive, just that the infertility issue is creating a problem. So often you find a lot of young women who have been told that I have PCOS feel as if they get a free pass because I cannot conceive. So therefore, I'm a little bit more careless in my actions. My promiscuity kind of changes a little. You get pregnant, teen pregnancy, it happens. Okay, so those are the things that we should try to promote. And as you said initially, create the awareness of those things. Teen pregnancy is a problem. The promiscuity, because of it, creates another underlying problem. So PCOS is as we go along. We'll talk about, as I said, round table soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
My final question for you. In my research, I read that a woman can experience post-pill PCOS. However, birth control is often prescribed to regulate menstrual cycles. Is this a cause for concern?
The cause for concern, if you're looking at if you're given a pill to regulate menstrual cycle, and there is the incidence of pill-induced PCOS, not really. The reasons being is that pill-induced PCOS is not really a medical term. It's just to associate it with what's going on. In the sense that I took a pill, so therefore, when I'm on it, my period is regulated. When I get off it, I have somewhat similar symptoms to PCOS. But what you have to understand is that why did I go on the pill initially? What was the reasons? Now, if it was just to not get pregnant, all fine and well. But the pill can also unmask hidden, like let's say you probably had PCOS and you never knew, so the pill kind of awakened that. So it's not just saying PCOS is caused by the pill, but you should be investigated properly to find out what was the underlying issue that caused that. So it's not really a concern to say because I'm on the pill, I'm going to get PCOS. No, it could be a predisposition that you may have had PCOS and the pill kind of masked it or unmasked it at that time. So, above all, go to your physician.
I agree.
Yes.
I totally agree.
Yes.
Always good to connect with your physician. Are there any questions in the comment section? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Mark, for such a wonderful insight. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that our audience appreciates it. Coming up, we have with us Ms. Rachel Shillingford, a proud PCOS survivor, advocate, and CEO of Herbal Harmony, an initiative dedicated to assisting women with PCOS through herbal remedies. Stay tuned as we take a short break. Did you know that Republic Bank now has 3 ATM locations at HHV Research on Old Street, Roseville, Big W in Kingfield, and for our customers in the north, Jolly's Pharmacy in Portsmouth. At these ATMs, and the one in branch, we offer you the contactless option to access our ATMs. When you tap your card by matching the contactless symbol on your card with the contactless symbol on the machine found above the keypad, when the light has turned green, your card has been identified, and you can carry on your transaction as normal. That way, you are safeguarded against your card being captured due to improper or premature insertion. Welcome back to PCOS Unmasked, a program dedicated to breaking the stigma of polycystic ovarian syndrome and empowering women. For those of you just tuning in, I am your host, Sheraine Mills, and right now I have with me Miss Rachel Shillingford, a proud PCOS survivor and advocate and a CEO of Herbal Harmony. Good evening, Miss Rachel.
Good evening, Miss Mills.
And how are you this evening?
I'm fine, thanks, and you?
Lovely.
Okay,
It's a pleasure having you join us.
thank you.
Miss Shillingford, tell us, what was it like being diagnosed with PCOS, and how did you cope?
Okay, so for me, my journey began from high school, my high school days. I had the irregular periods, the painful cycle, but I did not have someone to hold my hand or tell me exactly that I have PCOS. So before I even go further, I even want to commend you on using your platform to to advise women and to try to break the stigma. I think that embodies the characteristics of a true queen. But so I'm in high school and I have the painful, the irregular periods, and I do not know that it is PCOS. We come from a culture where we are told to accept like it's a norm to have painful periods. So it wasn't until in my adult life I've been to countless doctors. I think the only doctor who doesn't have my file is Mr. McIntyre here.
That's true.
So I've been to countless doctors, and it was like the help that I got was just a temporary band-aid to my problem. So I started research and I started experimenting with herbs and my diet. I changed my diet, and that is how I got a turnaround with PCOS. It wasn't easy. The painful periods, it goes beyond just a period issue. PCOS is not a period issue. It has the mental aspect of it. I had the sleepless nights. It had so many difficulties that I had to deal with until I had to do what was right for me, that was dieting, and also consulting with my doctor on certain remedies that I also took, like supplements. The game changer for me was red raspberry tea and Vitex as a supplement. That helped balance my hormones. And there in return, I got a regular cycle, the pain was gone, and the diet just played so much of an important role for me. So yes, Dr. Mark might give you a pill that helps, but if you continue eating the chicken, you go to KFC and you continue eating that chicken, you continue drinking the sodas, you continue not preparing for your cycle. Like for me, I know my cycle is coming every 17th of the month. I normally step back from the junk food. I drink a lot of lukewarm water. I stay away from sodas, and I do not eat the chicken during that time, or none at all. And I drink a lot of tea to warm my uterus, and that's how I in return get a proper cycle every month.
Okay, you said something that stuck out to me.
Yes.
You said you drank raspberry tea.
Yeah.
In my experience with drinking the raspberry tea, I experienced a more painful period, especially working in AC. That was the worst menstrual cycle I ever had, and from that I stopped it. Was that the same experience for you?
No, it wasn't, because I think the AC also have to do with it. There's something called cold uterus, so you're in an area where it's too cold. You also, maybe the timing you took your raspberry tea, because I do not drink on my cycle. Take for instance, you're given a pill, and you take that pill when you're actually on your cycle. For me, I think you should take and prepare in advance. So 5 days prior, you know your cycle is coming, you start drinking and warming your uterus before that comes. So maybe that could have been the problem for you. Also, you maybe continued eating the chicken, your junk food, the chocolates,
Is that
so many things that you have to stay away from. Yes, so it could have been that.
Well, at that point, I wasn't too aware of the diet aspect of PCOS.
Yes.
I was just living life normal. The doctor told me I have PCOS, and I went about it regularly because I wasn't too affected until, so I was diagnosed at 17.
Okay.
However, it really started showing itself at like 2021 when I began working. And like you said, it must have been the AC because that's when my cycles became painful, like really painful. Like I couldn't focus in work, which means I was running to the restroom. I couldn't be at my desk. It was terrible.
Yes. So I had the cycles as well where it would render me from my daily activities. I could not go to work. I had that type of painful cycle. And like Dr. Mark said, knowing your root cause of your PCOS, and that's why maybe what worked for you might not work for me. Because there are 4 different types of PCOS, right, Dr. Mark?
Yes.
There are
inflammatory,
adrenal, insulin, which is the common type, and post-pill. For me, I have inflammatory PCOS, so I know I have to stay away from certain foods and to try my best to curb certain symptoms. If you have insulin, it's the most difficult type of PCOS, the weight loss issues, the sugar, you have to try to stay away from it. Adrenal deals with stress, so you have to keep your stress levels to be and try to control cortisol levels. Post-pill, like he said, is an unmasked symptom that may have been there. It is the most reversible type, right? So that's why what worked for you might not work for me, because knowing your root cause is the best to manage it properly. Yeah, that's why you should visit Dr. Mark to know your root cause of your PCOS and not just self-diagnose, I have PCOS, because PCOS is not the same for everyone. I've had women tell me, but you don't look like you have PCOS. You don't have the facial hair and so forth. Mine might not show. I come from, PCOS can also be linked to genetics,
yes,
right?
genetic
I come
predisposition.
from a lot of women who have the fibroids, the PCOS, so that could have been the link for me. Now, the facial hair is called hirsutism. So, seeing that there's certain things that you may have to drink, like this spearmint, or try to keep the testosterone level, try to manage that level. So that's why your PCOS may look different for you than what it looks for me. So,
I totally agree.
Yes.
Back to you, Dr. Mark.
Why not?
Is it true that to kind of eradicate the issues surrounding PCOS, that you have to do a surgery?
I don't see how surgery is going to really help you.
Okay.
It's you. Yes, it's just having multiple cysts on your ovaries. For you to do a surgery to fix that, remove the ovaries.
Well,
Yes, so you see where I go with that.
okay.
So surgical issue, no, not really, because cysts, ovaries, even if I remove the cysts, they're going to come back. It's not going to change, that's how it's made. Okay, so if you're going to alleviate other issues, probably associated with PCOS, yes, the surgical area is done. Or if you're looking for surgical reasons for fertility, so as she was explaining, is the source, the root, why I am doing the surgery. If I do it just for PCOS, makes no sense.
So you're saying that your cysts are able to regenerate?
Not regenerate, they will come back. They'll be. So the clinical diagnosis of PCOS is not only saying that I have cysts on ovaries. Anybody can have cysts on the ovaries, but it's the size and how much that will give. That's a criteria to actually diagnose you with PCOS. So it's not like they're regenerating; they're there. They're not going. Think of like, let's say you having like a balloon with multiple grips all over it. That's how the ovary actually looks. So it's a nice smooth contour, whereas you have like multiple grips like resemblance. You cannot get rid of that.
I understand.
You understand?
Yes.
That's what he was saying. Yes? Oh, okay. When I was diagnosed with PCOS, and like you said, you continued living your life, and I changed my diet like 6 months in straight. No chicken, straight leafy greens, herbal teas, and doing what I had to do. When I went back in for a checkup, the season, my ovaries were like totally covered, both of my ovaries dark. A few of them, they went away. And on my left side, I only had semi-bilateral functional cysts. and I did not have the symptoms that were there before. The painful periods, the cysts, a decrease in size, and it was all because I think the only thing I did different was eat right and drink herbal teas. Like, take for instance, the dandelion and the nettle leaf. It helps with your liver and so on, because remember, I had inflammatory PCOS. So knowing how to detox my liver and eating correct foods, it helped me. So as you said, you may not need a surgery, and if you eat right and follow your doctor's instructions, it can go away. But it can also, like now, if I just stop, carnival season is coming, I'm drinking my alcohol, I'm eating from KFC, I'm going, bad habits, it's going to come back. The facial hair might come back. I stopped drinking my spearmint tea. I stopped doing my facial routine. It's like, I think, finding out what works for you and consulting with a doctor in the process.
Yeah, totally agree. And
Yeah.
as you said, detox, we're
Yeah.
going to go on to Sister Nats. Our final panelist is someone we know and heard of all too well. Sister Nats is a nutrition and detox therapist and lifestyle coach. Stay tuned as we take a short commercial break. At Republic Bank, we welcome you to join our family through our website, https://www.republicbankdominica.com, where you can create a new account with our latest online feature, Republic Onboard. Starting with a proof of identification, such as a passport, proof of address, proof of income, and filling out the required information, you can become a Republic Bank customer through our guided platform. Once your account has been created, you can visit the branch to sign and receive your debit card. For more information, you can also check out our online demos at Republic Bank Online Demos. We're coming down to the final leg of our program, PCOS Unmasked, a program hosted by the lovely delegate number 3, Sheraine Mills. Our final panelist this evening is no other than Sister Nats, or as some of you may know her, Nathalie Charles. In my journey with PCOS, I have come to understand that diet and lifestyle changes is a great way to control polycystic ovarian syndrome before it controls you, and I feel you will agree with me on this one, Sister Nats. What are some practices women like myself and Miss Shillingford can incorporate in our daily lives as we continue to cope with this condition?
Okay, Sheraine, first of all, I think I really want to commend you for selecting this topic for discussion, because I see there is a compelling need on the ground right now for more attention to be given by the Ministry of Health, and because I say this because of the PAHO statistics. The statistics showed a certain percentage, like 10-15 years ago. And if you go on the website now, you will notice that PCOS is really spiraling up. Not only in Dominica, actually it has been listed as a regional problem. And I really think this problem is too big to be ignored because of all the complications and all the side effects. Speaking of diet has always been the foundation of human health. Food is the substance of life. And your vehicle is powered by gas, by petrol. The body is powered by food. So there's no getting around the fact that food always plays a central issue in the maintenance of sustainable health. The PCOS issue that is spiraling right now, based on the research that has been conducted by myself and my team, something is standing out very clearly, that the PCOS condition is a lifestyle issue condition. Lifestyle in the sense that a lot of our women have not been educated in the skill of health, self-care. This is not something that you pick up in the education system, and you don't pick it up in the church, and you don't pick it up anywhere. So there has never been a slot in the whole education framework to ensure that women are educated on the whole question of self-care. The PCOS escalation that we are experiencing right now, it is deeply rooted in the lifestyle that is prevalent among our young people. And from my end of that circle, we are saying that it will take lifestyle medicine to cure a lifestyle disease. It is pretty much agreed out there that if you have a disease right now, 90% of the time you get that disease, right? And that is linked to the eating disorder that is, raging all over, not just in Dominica. So diet, any attempt to control, to manage, to eradicate PCOS involves some kind of lifestyle management plan, some kind of regulation of the diet, some kind of adjustment, is destined to fail. Particularly when I look at the food industry, that's the sector that's responsible for the feeding of humanity. And sometimes when you look at the quality of food that is being produced and sold, worldwide, you tend to ask yourself, do this food really qualify as food? Do they meet the specifications? Because the thing is, food is the substance of life. Now, food has a definition. Food has a criteria. Food has boundaries, right? Simplest definition would be food is a fuel food is the fuel that ensures that the human body can have a sustainable life. Food is not about your taste buds, and many people eat for their taste buds and they don't eat for nutrition. But food is really about maximizing health and minimizing disease. So whatever kind of food you may ingest, it may look like, it may taste like, it may smell like food, but the million-dollar question is, does it qualify, as a food based on the criteria? Does it increase your chances of attaining good health? Does it reduce the risk of disease? Right, so this is what real food does. But the food industry, I think they have deviated from that criteria, and it's more like business. So it's like more profit than health. And so what we find is that from the farm to the factory, there are lots of toxic chemicals that are being used in the production of food that now renders the foods unfit for human consumption. The toxic chemicals that are now being used in food is really going over the wall right now, 30 years ago, Ralph Nader, he was a top scientist working with the FDA. And at some point, he came out of that system and he produced a book called The Chemical Feast. And the subtitle was Poison in Your Food. And there was an uproar in the American society about the disclosures that he made. And he said that there's an excessive use of chemicals in food production, and there's no way that humanity is going to survive. And that created a major upset. Time magazine, everybody came out and put a ban. That was about 30, 40 years ago. Anyway, he survived the attack, and 40 years later, he comes out with another book, Naders, Raiders, Strike Again. And the subtitle is Poison. Poison. No, sorry, Food. No, the first subtitle, I'm sorry, let me get it right, was Food in Your Poison. That was like 40 years ago. Yeah? At that time, he said there were some 2,000 chemicals being used in the food industry. 40 years later, he comes with a second book, Naders, Raiders, Strike Again, Rock Nader. And the subtitle is Food in Your Poison. And of course, he is well placed to be able to illustrate, when he makes a statement like that in the book, and he called the book The Chemical Feast. The chemical feast meaning a lot of the foods that we consume from the food industry, they are laced with more toxins and chemicals than real food. So that is the problem confronting not just our PCOS patients, but generally our diabetic patients and things. Because lately I've been saying to a lot of my diabetics, your diabetes is on your plate. And my cancer patients, I have to say to them, your cancer is in, what you eat. And the thing about these foods, they have grown on us and we have gotten accustomed to them, and they do taste good. But I think we have come to a point in our health history in the Caribbean where we really, really need to revisit and reconsider the whole basis on which we are going to go forward as a people, as a nation, and create that dream of sustainable health. Because, and the thing about the food industry, it's like toxins. You get your daily dose of toxin every day. Breakfast, toxin. Lunch, toxin. Dinner. 2 snacks in between. And I see it as warfare. Because, I call it warfare because it's like no ceasefire. There's no stopping. Because, they keep turning out these foods, and we keep consuming them. And it seems like, we're caught in a corner. We, the consumer, we are caught in a corner because the alternative would be to basically grow your own food, supply everything you need. And we do not have that option. Who does? Do you, Doc?
Yes, I do.
No. We do not have that option to be able to supply our food supply, that we need. The other thing would be, because basically, that practice is an illegal practice. You're feeding people and you're putting poison in the food that you're feeding them. To me, that is punishable by law. But you don't have that leverage, that option to run a lawsuit against them. And even if you do, you won't get very far. So, okay. So second option is a no-no. So what we have developed in our holistic approach to natural living and healing, we have developed something called a detox, right? Which is a detox kit, which is, we found that the detox was like an escape route. Because you're really caught in a corner. You got to go out there and eat what is sold and what is produced. So after much research and lots of study, we found out, okay, the food industry is not going to change their approach. It's all about profit and money. So you have to leave that alone. But we found that there is a way that you can manage the intake, your daily intake of toxins. by detoxing. Because the thing about it, we are up in a fight against a condition known as toxemia. Now, you do not hear a lot, it is also known as acidosis, right? It's a condition where the intake of toxins in the body considerably exceeds and does not match the daily removal, right? So in other words, you're eating all these toxic foods all day long, all month, all year round, and of course there's no education system to say to you, well, if you're stuck in that dilemma, there is a little way out, there is a way to balance, there's a way to manage the toxins rather than keep recycling those toxins in your system year after year. Toxins are poisons, and what does poison do? Poison kills. So if we keep on going at that rate, it's not just our PCOS patients that are at the mercy of this onslaught. It's like, all the cancer patients and all the statistics that are now coming out of PAHO, right? So really and truly, I'm so happy that you decided to think. But it is beyond the scope of this forum to really share the kinds of details and the data and the information, because we do have a lot of data on PCOS and the root causes, and not just the root causes, but also the way forward in terms of control, management, and eradication. But the detox is definitely a game changer. It gives you an opportunity to, it's like an antidote to toxemia, It's like a survival mechanism that you can grab onto, because what you're doing is like, we call it toxin in, toxin out, right? So, okay, your hands are tied, you must eat the fake foods, you must eat the products, but what the detox is saying to the nation and to the region is, you do not have to be terminally stuck, terminally doomed with toxemia. There are ways in which you can periodically, you cleanse the body, remove the toxin. Because what do we do for garbage? In the home. Yeah. We put a bin, we put a bag, and what do we do? Well, do we keep it in the kitchen for months and years? Do we do that? No. But it seems like we have learned as human beings how to control the garbage in our home environment, but we haven't learned about how to control the toxins, and which is garbage, that we ingest. So the whole thing about the detox, it's like if we are to imagine that this thing is a war, I would like to think that the detox is a kind of ammunition. It's a kind of warfare tactic that you can use to outplay the enemy, so that you don't end up being uninformed, unenlightened, and taking in your daily dose of toxins, and not having a management system, a waste management system in place, where periodically you do a cleanse and you remove the toxins. Same thing like throwing the garbage out. You throw the garbage, you put a fresh bag. When that bag is full, then again you. So I think, not wanting to compare the human body to garbage, right? Frankly, that's not the idea. But I use this analogy because it seemed like the most appropriate, example I could give of how important it is not to, the fact that you're doomed to consume toxins every day, how important it is not to recycle that toxin in your system every day, how important. Well, what we have found with most of PCOS patients is that first step is detoxing. We say to them, if the treatment is going to be effective, we are going to have to remove the toxin, because what do the toxins do? They compromise your immune system, they cause inflammation, they, causing, the toxins are just a no-no, because in the first place, they have no place in the human body, right? If you go to a friend's home and they offer you a meal, and just before they hand you the meal, they open the cupboard and they pull out a little jar, and there's a label on the jar that says poison. They put a few drops in the meal and they hand it to you. Sheraine, would you eat that meal?
Not at all.
Here we go.
Not
But
at all.
here we are ingesting loads and loads of toxins every day just because we don't see what happens on the farm, where they grow the so-called food. Just because we don't see what happens in the factory, here we are, in complete blindness. But I just don't want to say complete blindness because we are living in an age where information is out of the closet. And I'm sure that some of the information I'm sharing here tonight among our listeners, I'm sure that some of them are already familiar with the fact that a lot of the food and the sad thing for Dominica and the Caribbean is that 70% of the food we consume it's imported. 70 over, and it's not 75. The last data that came out said over 75%. So can you imagine whatever chances we would have of staying clean, the very structure of the whole food chain system, there's no chance. So the detox is basically one of the main instruments. It's a main tool that I have been offering even before they embark on the PCOS treatment itself. I say, let's clean up the house. You do not put new wine into old wine skin. I say that and they smile, So we clean up the house and we begin the treatment. And trust me, I have so many testimonies in my phone. It's beyond the scope of this forum to read them, but I have loads and loads of testimonies from ladies who came in stressed out, just devastated, and the hand-holding was to get them to do the detox, and after the detox, then we put them on the basic teas, like the ones that we have here, that Rachel is promoting, very effective. But in that order, in terms of the treatment, it is the detox first. You're going to get maximum results from Rachel's tea, better results if you do the detox. Yeah.
Okay, I have a few questions for you, Sister Nance. Someone may say that they are slim and fit. However, they suffer from this condition, PCOS. Is it a one-size-fits-all diet for individuals with PCOS?
Well, within the holistic system of healthcare, there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all, right? There isn't, because no two people have the same biochemistry, no two people have the same metabolism. There cannot be a one-size-fits-all in terms of diet and in terms of treatment. But the one-size-fits-all, it shows its face when we look at the root cause of the disease. So if the root cause, if it is rooted in the fact that everyone is consuming too much junk, they're not detoxing, then the one-size-fits-all has a place in the treatment because the root cause of the disease is related to poor dietary habits, right? But, the fingerprint story. No two people have the same fingerprint. So also clearly, Sheraine, when it comes for treatment and healing and medication, I think it should be done on a one-on-one merit. Each case should be treated on its own merit. Yeah.
And Dr. Mark, I think we have two questions for you from the audience. One being, what is your take on natural remedies like teas to deal with PCOS?
I keep forgetting.
Okay, so before I begin, I have to correct Rachel.
Yes.
You blast me, but I give him pill. Okay, I don't give him tea. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I do support the herbal approach. I do. My office name is Advanced Holistic Wellness Clinic.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so because I believe in a holistic approach, it's not only just giving a pill.
Yeah.
Okay, and to add to what you're saying about you eating what I am a firm believer, you are what you eat. Sure. Okay, my thesis in university was the increased incidence of metabolic syndromes, and we focused on the microbiota of the gut system. It showed that what you eat increases the incidence of having metabolic syndromes like diabetes, and if you have PCOS, increases the incidence of those things there. So I support the eating healthy. I a client who hasn't not gotten my stuff as yet from you. I've been making many attempts. But I just said, I wanted to put that out there, so probably it'll happen faster. Because I do my detox myself. I practice what I preach.
Yeah.
Right? From the approach that I have never left my old school ways. I still drink my Ponguli. I still drink my Fetwave. Okay?
Man of the soil. Yeah.
Right. So I believe in what you're saying about you have to clear out your system. I also, the guy just won the Nobel Prize, Japan guy, for works on autophagy. You have to clear your system, let the body repair itself.
Sure.
I practice that as well. It has helped me with my metabolic as well, in eating, everything, weight control. Because, as you said, I'm a taller guy, so I have to bring myself closer, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, my weight and my height compounds my problems with my body. So I have to be mindful of that as I age. So I have inducted that. So yes, I believe in the herbal stuff.
Good.
Yeah, so I have no objections to it. But what I want people to also understand, as much as you just depend on it, what you said, lifestyle matters. So you can't expect to just take it and think I'm going to fix tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, you have to commit to it.
Consistency.
Exactly. Anything you have to consistent with and proper discipline.
Sure.
So it adds to it there. So yes, I can give a pill sometimes.
Yeah.
Because there are areas where you may need it, especially in fertility,
Yes.
to promote fertility in terms of ovarian release.
Yeah.
Because you can have PCOS with infertility, which is the factor of, like, let's say I am not releasing an egg. You may be menstruating,
Yeah.
you're seeing your bleeding and everything, but there is no ovulation. The egg is not released because of the whole multiple cysts on that ovary. Okay, so therefore I might have to give an injection or a tablet to help promote that, with the benefits of eating properly and taking your herbal tea. So let's say it's a combined effort, the three of us.
Here we
Yes,
go.
Right?
sure.
Here we go.
Partners.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
don't put me at the on the outside. Yes. Okay. But yes, I support the whole herbal approach.
Yes.
Okay. You said 2 questions.
Yes. So
Oh, if there's plenty questions, by the way.
there might be
Yes,
more from
questions.
the audience.
This is an ongoing topic. As
Yeah.
Sister Nat said, this forum is just so small. I hope that in the future we can meet again.
Sure.
Yeah, you took it over my mouth.
Yeah.
Because
I
I'm saying,
was
look,
just
it's something here that you can't just drop like a hot potato and move on, because there
Yeah.
needs to be continuity.
Well, you know your PCOS month,
Yes, I advocate
September.
every
Right.
month for September.
September.
And we'll call it teal.
Yes.
Well, it's a game changer, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, PCOS can go on and we can go on because it's an in-depth thing, and as you
Yeah.
said, one-on-one individuality comes.
Yes.
Okay, and it's not only individuality, demographics, it's socioeconomics of all individuals. You have to take that in consideration. So having a proper consultation helps you gather enough information so you can give the direction to that individual.
Sure. But Doc, I commend you for taking the holistic approach as well, because for my brand, I also have a WhatsApp group chat where I give daily herbal remedies and check up on the women that I support. And I've had women say to me that their gyno, their doctor, their general practitioner, they just dismiss it with a pill, and they feel left out, like they do not know much, and they have to go on to the research and, or just take that birth control, it will help you just regulate your cycle. But I'm glad that you're telling your clients that eating plus your pill will also help, because they really feel that the doctors just throw on the pill as just a tool, and there's no more option for them as women. And most of them, they're kind of frustrated because I'm taking the pill. I've had someone who said she took the pill and cycles, it's like, you know, it's coming, but it's just spotting. But could be she might not have been eating properly.
That is true.
So I'm glad that you're preaching that holistic approach to them.
Yes.
And it's actually my first time meeting a gynecologist who does the holistic approach to my condition. Because like Rachel said, I'm just prescribed a pill and expected everything will be regulated.
Or
You-
the metformin
Yeah,
and
you have
so
to do
on.
a change up.
A change up,
You have to
yeah.
do a change up because research,
Sorry.
enough research, as social media, everything. Yeah,
Yes.
you guys are little doctors right now.
Oh, yes.
So you come with this primitive kind of questionnaire, and you lay it down, but you're hoping that I'm in direction of what you're reading.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because it gives me a more one-on-one interaction better.
That's true.
I get to know where
Yeah.
you're at, so I can give a direction to where
Yeah.
you want to go. So the holistic approach is not only the medicine, the pill, and everything, but also mentally conditioning that individual as well.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a tough decision to make.
Oh yes.
It is.
When we have KFC taunting us in the corner, and well, we want to make that switch, and it is so difficult. Like I am trying right now, as I am on my journey to the throne, but it is difficult.
You are a human being.
Yeah, but
Yes.
PCOS is so bad. Like, doc, I used to have period pains where, like, my leg, the pain would radiate down to my leg, and I would have to be carried to the health center to get an ibuprofen or the injection to get better. And I did not want that back. And I remember coming to the health center, and the nurse said, "You know you have PCOS. So you should have been taking a pill or like diclofenac in advance." And I felt so bad, right? So I just said, I'm going to start eating clean, and I never want to be faced with somebody embarrassing me. So KFC, I don't even want to see my vehicle parked there. I make noise with my brother for sending me to KFC. I don't want my customers to
Be
see me going.
associated with that.
Associated
Yeah, as a
with it.
role
So
model.
Yes,
you
yes.
have to make that choice for you. Do you want the pin? Do you want the regular cycles?
Yeah, it's a deliberate
Yeah.
choice, a
Good.
deliberate
So it's a
decision.
choice.
I
Speaking of
yeah, go ahead.
continuity, so I've got some news to announce that, so prior to you contacting me, my team, we had taken a decision that this year we're going to focus on reproductive health issues, women's reproductive health issues, because of the way, because PCOS is like one aspect of the fibroids, endometriosis, and all of that combined. So we took that decision that we would focus this year, and probably the other year, on reproductive health issues. So on next Wednesday, the 20th, we're having a women's night at UE to introduce the concept to the ladies. It's not going to be like the podium style mic presenter with a 20-minute, whatever, and then the women, by the time they get home, they're not able to even implement the information that was shared because of the circumstances, that they're faced with at home. So we're having a women's night, and the aim is to build a community of women, a community of women with the same cause and the same objective, which PCOS being the cause, and the same objective, which is the eradication. And we have accumulated a lot of data. We have spent a lot of years, accumulating data on the management and control of PCOS. So we are bringing the ladies in at UE in a very informal setting. They'll be served the herbal teas and more interactive, and we really want to get down to the root. Because there's one question that I would say more than 80% of my clients have always asked. Sister Max, what are causing that now? Sister Max, where that kind of thing come out from now? Right? I need to pay attention. Yes. Sister Max, yeah, so I'm saying that's another $1 million question, because it has, throughout my entire years of administering, this service to the PCOS women, invariably it pops up. This is not, in conversation when I begin to do the coaching, because you have to do a lot of counseling about lifestyle management and dietary changes and so. They would just take a pause. Sister Nat, what are causing that now? The other thing come out now.
Yeah.
So this will be the theme. This is going to be the theme for this year. We're going with the name Heal the Womb Man, WOMB-AN, Heal the Nation. Right? So we have taken a position of leadership, and our job is to ensure that our women are educated, in just general self-care, health skills. We're going to be having sessions as we go through the year. We bring them in, we teach them, how to get in tune with the body, understand the significance of the womb as a gateway to life, and treatment of the womb, like exercises and stuff like that. We are on that mission, and we are inviting the women. The first round, we can only house about 60, but we are inviting the women to join us in the first round at UWI next Wednesday. And we are going to, it's about eradicating the root causes of PCOS and giving ourselves a better chance as a people, as a nation, to attain sustainable health.
Okay. So we're going to take a few more questions from the audience, but right now we're going to have our last tidbit from our sponsor. This one is my favorite, one of our online banking systems at Republic Bank. Have you ever been in a situation where you ran to town and forgot your purse or wallet, or needed someone to get you something in or around Roseau right away, but had no means of sending them that fund? As a Republic Bank customer, you get to send someone or even yourself cash at the ATM without the use of a debit card. It's called cardless cash. One of our online banking features where you initially add the beneficiary, the person you're sending the cash to, on the browser, then via the app, you're able to send them to the ATM using a one-time cash code, where they tap the screen or the keypad and they get a PIN prompt. At Republic Bank, your safety is in our highest regard, and therefore, we have a two-step verification where you, the sender, must give the beneficiary a transaction code as shown on the app in order to receive the cash you sent. We're no longer limited to the bounds of our purse. Let Republic Bank Online and Republic Bank Online app work for you. Right now, we're going to take a few questions from the audience. They were asking you to elaborate on PCOS for those who don't know. Break it down.
Okay, so break down quick.
Yes.
Nice. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, as the word says. Poly meaning a lot, okay? Ovaries meaning on the ovaries. Syndrome meaning it is an illness or disease, as you may put it, that affects any woman that is in breeding stage. Breeding meaning like childbearing stage. So the moment you start seeing your menses, it can happen. I have a young lady as early as 14 years who has problem with us. Okay, juvenile, so you don't really manage that one. You leave it alone because she's too young to really trouble. Or sometimes in extreme situations, it can happen. Okay, so you have PCOS, which is really and truly irregularity in your menstrual cycle. But as we have said also, it's not only your menstrual cycle that's affected in the terms of how often I see it, how long it lasts, the bad pains that are associated with it, but also the other factors where, because it's a hormonal imbalance, so you have what you call the hirsutism. You know? So it's based on the types that you have, the symptomology changes with the types that you have. So the hirsutism, you will have more of the hormonal in terms of the testosterone levels, the androgen levels being a little out of control. You have the inflammatory process one, the weight bearing, the bloating, all those things associated with it. The pill-induced one, we like to use the pill-induced one still. But the symptoms can be alleviated from the absence of the pill, or sometimes it's unmasked that you actually did have PCOS. And the most troublesome one and the most common one, insulin. Okay, so whenever you see a physician and you may have PCOS, they do a scan. Oh, you have multiple cysts on your ovaries. I have PCOS. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. What's next?
Yeah. You'll teach me. Cool.
Thank you very much. So further studies has to go on. What type do I have? The types I have determines the type of management which I'm going to go under. Okay? So we have to dive a little deeper into it. So PCOS in a nutshell is a irregularity in not only your menstrual cycle, but also your infertility, the mental stress, because PCOS also have a mental component to it, depression factor to it. Okay, so it's just sitting down one-on-one with an individual to ascertain what actually is going on with you. So it's not just even a clear definition. Clear definition, irregularity in period. That's what it will tell you. But it goes deeper when you have a one-on-one with an individual who can guide you,
That's why you should always consult with your doctor.
not Google. Google tells you have cancer every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Every time. Okay. Another question directed to you, Dr. Mark. Women are often misdiagnosed or diagnosed late with PCOS. From your perspective, what are the main reasons this happens, and what needs to change to improve earlier and more accurate diagnosis?
What needs to change is what's going on right now. Awareness. Okay?
Yeah.
And as she stated earlier on, is the fact that we live in a culture and a society that accept it. If you fall down, drink some water. You know, it helps. Okay? Everything for Dominicans. We have gas. Okay? We need to get away from this. We need to debunk that. So, in fact that we have to create the awareness. Also, the education is to be spread. This is continued medical information. And it doesn't have to be medical from a medical point of view. I believe in starting a fire, which is a good fire, by the way, of spread of information. Nothing spreads faster than fire. Okay? So if I start with one, you have free. You go in the next group. It spreads and it spreads. Okay? So it's about availability of information. Lovely stuff. Okay? So it's information at hand and the ability to speak. We need people to understand that you didn't create that. It happened to you. Okay? So don't feel like as if you're alone in this. And if you don't speak up, you have no idea what's going on. So this is creating the awareness will help with the diagnosis, will help with the management and move forward with a lot of the young girls. So it is said that it's always a late diagnosis. I believe it's also because of the culture that we grow up in.
Ignoring the signs.
Ignoring the signs. Cancer is also ignoring signs. But to just go slightly off tangent, a lot of the clients don't want to do pap smears because of what their friends say, it's in plenty. One. Two, I don't want to know what the result is. I don't know if I have cancer. Some of them are afraid. And it's the fear factor that you have to mitigate. You have to meet it. You have to deal with it. So you have to speak, and sometimes it's easier to hear it from a peer than from a doctor. If I know her, she okay. Everything nice with her. You know?
Nice and
Yes.
nice and friendly. Well made.
Why she have that, I don't have it, and both of us have the same thing.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question, please? And that's how it starts. So it's creating a safe space for us to speak one-on-one. So I believe the awareness, what we're doing right now, is crucial to the management of it.
And the thing too, with, like you said, asking a question, in my pursuit to researching more on PCOS and how it affects other ladies, I've realized that so many people are like, will this be published? I don't want people knowing. There's this fear of people knowing, okay, I have this condition and this is what's happening to
You
me.
live in a small community, small country.
Yeah.
We don't want our neighbors to know what's going on with us.
Or they feel.
Thank you. Because I don't want my my nipple out there.
Yeah.
Okay, it's that kind of a thing. But this is not the same situation. This is a health situation, and how we could the health crisis is about speaking up about it, giving it a voice, giving it awareness, and yes, it will take a little while, but the continuity of it will help you for sure.
Yeah.
So I, as Sister Nat said, we commend you on choosing this, and yeah,
I
it's
think
good.
also of the misconception of the fertility issue. Like, I will meet Sheraine, we maybe went to school together, and they come like, oh, signal, say, hey, friend, long time no see you, maybe you don't have a child yet, or you're not losing weight, and they do not know that you're even dealing with insulin PCOS, and it's very hard for someone with insulin PCOS to lose weight. I don't have a child yet. You don't know what factors are affecting me. You don't know what factors are affecting my partner, and they come with that to your face, and it can make people afraid of speaking up because of that. Our people, our Dominican, the West Indians, they do not know how to approach people, and the
Black
first
people.
thing, they would want is your fertility issue or your weight gain. So I think it
Yeah.
has to do with all
So
that.
long you
the
have
fear.
come married, how come you
How
not
come
yet
you
have a
don't have a
child?
child?
Yes.
And you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a Caribbean thing. It's,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in terms of early diagnosis, Doc, I remember as part of my platform, as I said during the month of September, I heavily advocate for PCOS. So one of the things I do, I target the high schools, especially the all-girls schools, and I did my alma mater last year, which was ITSS. And when I asked the young women a question on a scale from 1 to 10, how can they rate the period? Some of them will be on 10. Some of them, oh, I did not get a period for 2 months. So how are you telling me you as a mother, you have a daughter, and she is complaining about the painful periods or has not seen her periods for 2 months, and it's okay? So I think that going into the schools and getting it in there, even in health and family life, the teachers need to bring that on the table. They had no idea what PCOS was. The guys, the men also, the young boys, they were very much taken back, like there was something called PCOS. And I had to tell them, yeah, and we need to teach the men to understand that, because Dr. Mac might be able to think with his partner and understand, oh, she has PCOS.
Yes.
That's one of the things that comes with PCOS. And many women complain they have a low sex drive. So your partner, how does he take that in? You maybe don't ovulate on time. So that's the reason why we can't have a child. Or, that's the reason why I don't want to be intimidated this month. So a lot of that has to come through education and teaching the younger generation now,
Agreed.
right now.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yes.
It starts with education.
Yes.
Always.
Okay. As we come to the end of our program, I humbly encourage you to get checked and the women around you to get checked. Early diagnosis enables you to understand your body instead of fearing it and taking control of your health. Protect your fertility options and plan with confidence. Logging off now at 7:20 with our three wonderful panelists, Dr. Shane McIntyre, one of our leading specialized physicians in obstetrics and gynecology, Ms. Rachel Shillingford, PCOS survivor and advocate, and CEO of Herbal Harmony, and Sister Nats, nutritionist and detox therapist. A special thank you to our sponsors, Republic Bank, we're the one for you, for bringing our discussion live to you via Emonews. And for our venue this evening, I thank the Nook and our lovely decor. I thank you, Wendy's Event Planning. Have a wonderful evening. I was your host, Sheraine Mills.